I saw you singing in a photograph, but I never learned your name. Then it wasn't long I fell in love and hoped you'd feel the same. So you told me, come on over and we'll sing a sweet refrain. And the world was turning slower, I can't explain. And I always will do right by you. Not a single thing I wouldn't do. I'm never gonna let you down. And darling, you should know, as long as we keep turning around, I'll never let you go. I saw you singing in a photograph, and I didn't know your name. It seems so long ago I can't recall those days.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs,
And I always will do right by you. Not a single thing I wouldn't do. I'm never gonna let you down. And darling, you should know.
hello everybody, Dave Neal here, and this is your, I got the wrong images. Hold on, folks. Hang tight. It is the after show. There it is, folks. There it is. Wow. We got a voicemail line, 401-213-9828. 401-213-9828. If anyone wants to call in, let me know what you guys think. We covered a lot in this episode. Lots to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. We'll start in a few minutes. We'll take it easy real quick. We will start in a few minutes and discuss all that we just saw go down. Again, I'll play your voicemails. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of them. And hold on a second. Why? All right, let's turn the music off here. I actually thought, listen, I know, I get it. I understand a lot of these episodes. People go, oh, it's very easy, and I'm not going to blame anyone if you felt this way. It's very easy to say, oh, this season sucks, or this or that. I'm finding it highly fascinating what's happening out there. You've got people roasting Clayton. You've got Shanae roasting the other girls. You've got the other girls roasting Shanae. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, baby. To the girls or ladies that are making fun of Shanae. So someone made fun of Shanae and said it looked like she was wearing a diaper. They made fun of her butt. You're making her point when you do that. When you don't take the high road, you show Shanae that you guys really didn't like her. And I'm not here to defend Shanae. She deserves no defense. But I don't think she's much worse than some of the other people on this show. I don't. We saw Sarah caught in a lie. So much to talk about here. We're going to get into it. I love, as always, what BachelorNation.scoop does. So I'm going to share some of their memes that they've shared. We have Teddy telling Hold on. Let's get to this right now. We might have to replay this a few times, but here's Teddy telling the audience, and again, we are for sure going to be making content tomorrow about this, for sure. But here's Teddy telling the audience that Clayton's brother slid into her DMs.
Clayton's brother did reach out to me.
Well. To be fair, she said he reached out to her.
I didn't reply.
She didn't reply. So that says Clayton's brother messaged her. Clayton has 2 brothers that we know of.
Yeah. I will say, I think one Eckerd boy in my lifetime was enough for me.
One Eckerd boy is enough for all of us.
Are you ready?
Now we're going to go to it in a second here. So hold on. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to these comments. I want to get to Clayton's brothers saying, hey. So here are Clayton's brothers. We've got Patrick Eckerd says, wait a minute, googly eye. And then what appears to be Nate Eckerd, Clayton's other brother, saying juicy stuff. Okay. Now here's Clayton. Both of my brothers have been vehemently denying sliding into the DMs. Now, Teddy didn't say they slid into her DMs, but they did say they reached out to her and she didn't respond. So we could have a battle of semantics. So Teddy, please give the people, including me, what they want and release the DMs. Clayton says, release the DMs. And shout out to new subscriber Michael Smith. We just got a new subscriber on the channel here. As you guys know, if you're new to the channel, you can hit the subscribe button. In order to comment and chat with the live community, you have to be subscribed. So go ahead and do that. And also hit the like button while you're at it. Bump your Harrisons on top of that like button. Push your Palmer all over the subscribe button. So Clayton says that, and then immediately people start accusing him of calling Teddy a liar. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Teddy says Clayton's brother slid into her DMs. Clayton says, hey, they deny it. Now people go, are you saying a woman is lying to you? Are you calling all women liars? He's like, no, I didn't. And then he has to respond, in the hostage takeover that is modern social media. Let me just clarify. I 1000% believe Teddy. There's absolutely no way she made this all up. Well, who's lying, Clayton? Jason Tartik, same point that I had. He says, own it like a man is a dumb and dated saying. Of course, one of the ladies was like, Clayton, tell us how it is. Own it like a man. Listen, if we want to get rid of toxic masculinity, the idea of certain masculine traits being too far, we have to understand that toxic masculinity can be projected not just from guy to guy. Hey, man up. I'm going to take away your man card. But women as well. Just like there's misogyny that men have and misogyny that women have. I think we can see the problem here. Hey, own it like a man. How about own it like a human? Okay, if we're going to have that talk. Why should a man have to own it any more than other genders? And that might be something that people, they forget. They go, oh yeah, you're right. Own it like a man. Dumb saying. Doesn't make sense. All right. The voicemail lines are open, 401-213-9828. We're going to take your voicemails. I'm going to come in hot because we're at 300 people right now in the chat room. So I'm going to come in hot. If you're new to the chat, if you've never been here before, do me a favor. Tell me where you're calling in from. Tell me where you're commenting from. I'd love to hear from you. We love to see where the new people are at. Jen said they showed themselves as bullies when they were calling her names and she walked on stage. Disgusting. Now look, there can be multiple things that are disgusting. The way Shanae told Genevieve she banged, absolutely. But the group of ladies, disgruntled females, as some may call them, they lose their point when they start subjecting Shanae to those same bully tactics. Oh, how does it feel? No. Like I said, an eye for an eye. It doesn't look good. If they were to take the high road and speak one at a time and call Shanae out on our BS, then we can argue that merit. But if they're all going to be throwing food, then it's a food fight, folks. We got ourselves a food fight. Oh, I would love to be the guy. I want 2 things out of life, right? I never got this when I proposed because I proposed on a deserted beach. But I would have loved to propose in a restaurant, and then she says yes, and then I can yell, she said yes! She said, yeah, and then they bring out, some flambe and they, oyster, whatever, the shucking things, there's chocolate, people high-five, the busboys high-fiving me, it's a whole thing, right? We're making out, ding, 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 the whole thing. I never got that. But I would also love to be in a scenario where one person throws food, then another person throws food, and then I stand up and I yell, "Food fight!" And then someone throws a meatball right at my face. You know, I'd love to be. I'm gonna write that into a movie one day. You'll see it. That's my Make-A-Wish, literally. Something as simple as that. All right, so we're gonna go back to a few other things that we saw here. You know, it's always good to call out the hypocrisy. Elise Delbaume says, we got sex shaming, body shaming, and calling each other bitches. Happy Women's History Month. Now, of course, the show, you could say the show itself is so misogynistic that it creates a platform in which people resort back to the lowest common denominator, which is like vile, right? The Women Tell All has created this viral cash grab. The cash grab being that whoever performs the best might get a ticket to Bachelor in Paradise, which is a way of saying, you know, hey, look, Bachelor in Paradise might only pay you a couple grand. You get like $600 a day, depending on how long you stay. But if you double your following over the course of 5 years, hey, it's almost like $1 million lottery ticket. Look at someone like Grocery Store Joe. He came out of nowhere, got a little bit of love for being voted off so early. Next thing you know, he's, you know, a millionaire because of Bachelor in Paradise. So they've created a scenario in which people will want to, you know, perform in a way where, you know, you got people like Lindsay. When Lindsay called Shanae out, Shanae looked genuinely surprised that Lindsay called her out, as if like Shanae thought they were friends. But it's like, not with the cameras rolling, honey. And again, I'm not saying Shanae's didn't cause her own harm here, but I refuse to believe that she's the be-all, end-all. I think the sum of the parts, the sum of the other toxic people in the house, in some ways is equal to, or at least, you know, can stack up against Shanae's villainhood. Christine Marciano says, sorry, Dave, disagree about Shanae. I'm so far past when your comment must have been. If you could explain to me why you disagree with me, that would really help me out. MB says, I'm not impressed that they steered clear of the ADHD stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, the only way I would have properly enjoyed this Women's Tell All is if they spent hours with a clinical psychologist and we all got to hear where it all went wrong for Shanae. Because there's so much, it's almost like if you see, I hate to relate it to animals, but it's almost like if a riot broke out at Walmart on Black Friday. You don't even know who started it. Now, we know Shanae felt upset about Elizabeth and doesn't know how to eloquently deal with her emotions. And at the same time, Elizabeth seems kind of like a tough person to deal with too. Now, I'm not saying Elizabeth deserved whatever Shanae's vitriol was, not at all. But I wonder, and I would love to see a scenario in an alternate universe to see how Shanae would have acted if her limbic system wasn't flared day 2. Again, not making excuses for her. But I wonder if there's a scenario in which she doesn't have that initial battleground, me versus them moment, and she could have just coexisted. Hey, maybe it doesn't exist. Maybe Shanae's the type that every time you get her order wrong at a Starbucks, she turns into this nasty person. I don't know. All right, so we have no fighting, no spoilers, and super chats appreciated. I'm gonna have a hard time getting to everyone's messages because we have a lot of people in here. So I will for sure respond to all super chats, and I'll try my best to respond to other people, but it's a wildfire of comments here. And I don't even, I'm going to try to keep it as up to date as possible here on the comments that I'm reading. Let's get to our first round of voicemails. I haven't even checked. I'm assuming we have a lot of them. So let's see what we have for voicemails. If anyone wants to leave a voicemail, keep it as brief as possible. If there's a lot of voicemails, I can't play any of them that are over a minute long, and we have a lot. So let's get into it. Amy from Houston, you're up first.
Hey, Dave. This is Amy in Houston.
Hi, Amy.
And I'm watching the show live right now. And when Shanae went up to get it in the hot seat, Genevieve and some of the girls were laughing. And they said, does she have a diaper on? And she did. It looked awkward, what she was wearing. But anyway, I wanted to see if anyone else caught that. And she's really getting it thrown at her hard. Anyway. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks so much. Calling in from Houston, Texas. Joe says the same thing. Diaper comment was baloney. If some of these women keep it up, they're going to steal Shanae's villain edit in one night. Again, look, I don't only have one villain card. I'll pass villain cards out to people. I'm like the referee. I need to get one of those ref cards. Where's my ref's hat? I'll pass villain cards out to people as I see fit. And whoever said that about Shanae's body, that ain't good, folks. That ain't good. And we're not going to have a battle of who's a worse person. It's just kind of adding up. All right, let's go to our next voicemail. Thanks so much for the call. I appreciate you. Let's go to Yorktown.
Hey, Dave, it's Dana from Yorktown again. Listen, I wanted to let you know something, and I appreciate this. If you don't play this is really kind of for you. I've been trying to write this and just haven't gotten to it. These past 2 weeks have been crazy. Yeah, I did stumble on you because I do know Susie at a distance from my small town of the coast in Virginia. But, all right, so it made me curious. Hadn't watched The Bachelor in 10 years. And I really liked what you had to say. But the main reason I'm calling is I think it's so important what you said about Ukraine. I am from a family that was here since the 1600s. I am a daughter of the American Revolution. My family did fight for freedom. And what I've seen in Ukraine has hurt my heart because these are people that are fighting for the ability to think and feel and say whatever they choose. And I get sort of maybe younger pushes for socialism and communism because there's stuff that comes with that. But freedom is everything. I am from a family for that. And really what I wanted to tell you is I am so sorry you caught so much crap for bringing up how important Ukraine is and our proximity to World War III and the fact that we could lose those freedoms. My family, we were not soldiers. We were suppliers. I'm from an oyster family in that tiny little town. 1630 established. And I'm just telling you, it is huge. And yeah, even if we didn't fight in battle, we probably would have met the same end. The bottom line is freedom is everything. I appreciate what you said. I'm so sorry you caught crap. I love the fact you think outside the box and it's not all about The Bachelor. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Have a great night.
Thanks. You have a great night, too. Hey, look, we got to put it all into perspective. And here's what we can do, right? We can watch The Bachelor. We can have our moment. And we can also talk about real issues. Tonight's issues mostly will be about the women tell all. We'll talk about some body shaming and this and that and Clayton and his brothers. It'll kind of be on the lighter side of things. But there's a full-fledged war that's going on out there. Absolutely. And our country's got problems, right? Our country's messed up. The best thing we can do is promote freedom, and not the freedom like my side versus your side. The freedom where everyone's vote counts. The freedom where we're not bought and sold by corporations or whoever's got the most money out there. We can come out here and be a part of a country that's trying to do something great, even though we have failed on the rung as we've climbed the ladder since the beginning of this foundation of our country. We have failed every step of the way. We failed every step of the way, but we're failing in a direction of truth, of everyone's vote counting, of every, of helping the poor in our country, of helping the less privileged in this country. Absolutely. What's going on in Ukraine is complicated. We can't break it all down now, but we'll continue to talk about it. That one Shaw sent me a super chat and says, did the women make Sierra their spokesperson? She talked a lot. Yeah, Sierra got a lot of talking in. Absolutely. I'm going to continue playing your voicemails. But I really appreciate your call. Thanks so much.
Hi, Dave. This is Sabine from Canada. Just a note on how the women were yelling and calling each other bitches and really, going way hard on Shanae. I really think that as much as someone can do you wrong, it's always better to take the high road. It was super uncomfortable to watch. They can really take a page out of Deepsy's book from Love is Blind. And if they had a different approach to this, they would have looked a lot better. But this was such a shit show. Anyways, hope you have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Sage says being polarized and hateful does not help. Don't be the bigger bully. No, listen. Obviously, Shanae was wrong. Shanae came out hot at Genevieve. You could tell they were all just coming so hot out of the cage here. Shanae did stuff wrong every step of the way. Whatever points she would have had were lost because she showed no humility. She can use her own sort of civic lesson on public relations, right? Absolutely. But the show's complicated because we don't really get to see something triggered Shanae. Something triggered her. She says she brought Elizabeth shrimp and Elizabeth ignored her. Elizabeth said, I wasn't even in the hot tub. We obviously saw that Elizabeth was in the hot tub. Elizabeth then says, hey, due to my neurodiversity, sometimes I have a one-track mind, and if I'm focusing on something, I can't even deal with something else. I 1,000% believe Elizabeth. Tasha will tell you right here, she, when she's laser focused on a project or something, I could be running around my head caught on fire and she wouldn't notice a thing. So I totally understand where Elizabeth stands. Shanae's inability to understand that other people's brains act differently than hers could have been the trigger that caused Shanae to feel whatever trauma that was unearthed as she was put into a position where she felt like she wasn't enough. Now, that doesn't make it right. But what we're looking for here is some clues as to how they even got in this mess. What we got was a bunch of people pulling at the Christmas tree lights from all directions. We got the Chinese, what's it called? The Chinese finger lock. What's that called? Where the harder you pull, the tighter it gets. We didn't get any resolution. And we're all going to be too busy talking about the surface level stuff. But the deep stuff there is that triggering did happen. If I'm on the outside looking in, I don't excuse Shanae for anything she did, but I say, what was it about this situation that caused you so much anger and pain? Something did. Jane said, I'd love to see Psychology in Seattle do a bit on Shanae. Absolutely, because Jane, I can ask these questions, but I'm not qualified to answer them, okay? I see that there's limbic systems being flared. I see that that's all going down. Oh, Tiffany said the Chinese finger trap. It's so funny, I was saying it being like, is this even racist? Do we still call it a Chinese finger trap? I think we do. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, we see that that's going on, and yet on the surface level, there's only so much time to be like, oh, but she called Genevieve this, or well, she called her a diaper this, or it's so surface level to the greater issue. It would take probably like a psychologist a long while to break down, and we aren't provided with all the information, so we really can't properly assess that. But that's where we're at. Absolutely. Let's go to North Carolina. You're up.
Hi, this is Amanda in North Carolina.
Hey, Amanda.
I know that it was probably so juvenile of me, but I literally went and unfollowed every girl that I was following, except Cassidy, actually.
Cassidy.
But she didn't bother me. I thought all of those girls were so catty and so mean. Oh, not Teddy. She wasn't catty. I don't understand. I thought they were just awful. I don't know if it's the edit they got or if it was even worse than that. I'm not really sure. But I thought they were just terrible to him. Team Clayton. Okay, bye.
Bye. So Flutter, absolutely. Yeah, go unfollow them all. And then Flutter politely says, I think the bottom line is Shanae really liked Elizabeth and it wasn't reciprocated as deeply back to her. Shanae is very insecure. Oh, I mean, Shanae could have used that as an excuse. Or Shanae, like I said, it could have been something socioeconomic where Elizabeth is smarter than Shanae, so Shanae couldn't eloquently prosecute her emotions and her points on things, and therefore would get mad at Shanae because if you don't have the IQ or the intelligence, the emotional intelligence to get out what you want to say, you can get angry because you can't say what you want to say. And that could have been an issue where she just couldn't dance Elizabeth's dance and, wasn't able to explain why she was hurting so much. I think she tried. I don't know if she did a good job or not, but I think she tried to be like, you guys didn't listen to me. I thought we were this and then it wasn't there. But unfortunately for Shanae, because she can't properly communicate, it's almost like it's all blown up. So rather than have like a war where it's like one guy punches the other guy and the other guy punches back, Shanae took it as a punch and then dropped a nuclear bomb on them. She eviscerated it. And of course, we're not going to overcome it from there. All right. Love the voicemails. So many coming in. Let's keep it up.
Hi, this is Isabella from Central Florida. I'll try to make this quick. yeah, what they did to Shanae was not so great. You know, you shouldn't go down to her level with the whole underwear, like baby underwear thing. That was a horrible comment, and you know they're gonna be villains in the Bachelor in Paradise. I'll tell you that. You know, also what happened with Sarah. You know, I definitely think that she's been faking a bunch of cries, and that's not looking great. I don't know. I'm forgetting everything I'm saying. I literally. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I was thinking out everything I have to say before I was speaking, and now I completely forgot everything because I was freaking out.
Join the club.
Okay.
No worries.
I'll try it again later.
No
Bye.
worries. Hey, half the time every time I hit this button, I don't even know what I'm going to say, but I know this button's 2 minutes long, so I got to talk about it. All right, so I asked if the Chinese finger trap is racist, and Olivia T says it is racist, to be honest. Now, let's get into that. Asian American Unabridged. How to use a Chinese finger trap in multiple survival situations. So this is the Chinese finger trap. This was written by, I'm assuming, a Chinese lady. Let's see if there's any mention of racism here. There isn't, right? So again, this was written 10 years ago. But it says the Chinese finger trap dates back to early 6th century BC when Lao Tzu, under attack by alien rebels, used the device to confuse and subdue these outer worldly invaders. While some scholars doubt the history of the Chinese finger trap, one fact remains true. It is as useful today as it was then in getting out of sticky situations. I don't know. Was it created in the 6th century BC by Lao Tzu? Or was it made by some cheap arcade company so you can buy it? I don't know. But Olivia, I believe in intent, and I don't know if there's any intent for that to be racist, but I will do more research, but not on the fly. So if anyone has any information about that, I'd love to know. I'd love to know if we don't call it Chinese finger traps anymore. Miria Hernandez says Clayton did get a lot of heat, which he deserved, but he's not fully to blame. Producers are the real villain. They were able to manipulate everything. I appreciate the message. I almost feel like we have to preface it saying Clayton deserved the heat. But I'm starting to wonder, did Clayton deserve any heat here? Did he? What did he do other than not understand who to believe when one were lying and others were lying? What did he do other than believe some people who lied and not believe others? I mean, honest question, let me know. Thank you for the super chat.
Hey Dave, that one in Texas. So tonight the preview shows that he told Susie, I'm in love with you. Rachel, I love you too, and Gabby, I'm falling in love with you. Does that mean we can rank them 1, 2, and 3 respectively based on how he said it to them? Also, what do you think Teddy knows, since Teddy said that she does know some things and she just wanted to make sure that Clayton was okay? Interesting stuff. Have a good one.
Yeah, there's so much that happened in the last few minutes that I can't properly address. I'm going to have to watch it back. Ash and Kay said, always appreciate your balanced perspective, Dave. I think you're definitely onto something with your take on Shanae. I mean, look, of course. It's just like, yeah, okay, we get it. They're mean. Someone's a bully. Someone's a villain. Okay, now what? So we just, hey, live stream's done. Let's talk about nothing. No, let's address it. Why is Shanae the way she is? Some people say it's not important. It doesn't matter. That's how she is. And I go, well, if a friend of mine or my daughter or my son or someone lashes out, I'd want to know why they feel that pain and try to help them either realize it. Like, does Shanae have friends that are be like, hey, I saw how angry this made you. Let's unpack that. Hopefully she's got people that are going to go on long walks with her and go camping and talk about it. Hey, maybe eat some mushrooms, do some psychedelics. I don't know. Get some crystals, do some astrology. Skabam boom bum ba ba da bum. All right, loving the comments. We're gonna keep them going. Central Florida. Let's hear from Florida.
Hey, it's Isabella from Central Florida. I just remembered. Okay, so I was thinking it was very similar with what happened with Shanae. It gave me like deja vu of what happened with Hannah season with Luke P. I felt like it was a very similar scenario, what the audience was thinking. Like, why didn't you get rid of him in like the next 3 weeks? or whatever, and Shanae lasted a very long time, and so did Luke P. And, you know, they were both manipulative, Luke P. and Shanae, and, you know, they like to, what's the word that everybody's using now? Not, is it something related to flame, garbage? I don't know. Like, what's the word that you're making lies, little lies mixed with truth? You know, you'll probably know the word, but I forgot. You know, I'm having a brain fart like I always do.
I'm loving all the brain farts.
Also, yeah, I just think it's horrible. Oh, also what Shanae said, I forgot who she said it to, but saying that Aaron, slept with her, the girl she was in a 2-on-1 with, you know, that was horrible, inappropriate. She keeps on making lies after lies after lies. But yeah. Anyways, gotta go. Bye.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah, look, sometimes when, and let me just minimize your comment a little bit because it's taking up half my screen. Olivia, I'll get to you in a second here. I appreciate, no one wants to educate more than myself. That's why I love talking about it. So Olivia says the Chinese finger trap's development goes back to Austria in 1870 when Dr. Steinberger, a dentist Vienna, reported the discovery of his doctoral student who got the idea to use a toy, Magic finger. So maybe it was called a Chinese fire. Again, this is so unimportant to the conversation. But either way, I believe your story, but now I've got another story that says it was created in 600. Clearly, the Chinese finger trap wasn't actually effective unless there's a stronger version. Maybe it's effective again for like 4-year-olds. But either way, I think for something to be racist, it has to have an intent behind it that's racist, and it's got to have a negative context to it, right? You know, like French fries came from Belgium, not France. Belgium's not racist for calling them French fries. There's nothing to it. Now, there could be an undertone to maybe in Austria they thought that the Asian culture was something different than theirs that they didn't respect. So then they called it. So, you know, maybe that could be the case. I'm not saying it's not. I just don't know enough. But very interesting, and we need to learn a little bit more about it. I appreciate that dialogue. Okay, so maybe there needs to be a term for not calling something racist, but more like problematic. Maybe racist is just too heavy of a word. I don't know. I'm just asking. How could Dave ask? You're white. How could you know if something's racist or not? You're right. I don't. I hate myself. I'm stupid. No, I'm kidding. But the point is I have no idea. I'm just asking. Okay, let's go to Bruce.
Bruce from Oregon. Dave, I'm at the beach. I got my dogs. I have no idea what's going on with the women tell-all.
You're missing out.
Clayton. Sounds like a big dumpster fire. Just wanted to call in. So you're doing a great job. Keep the train rolling. Let's go.
Woo!
Carry on. Have a good one. Bye.
Bruce in Oregon, just living that Zen life. Just living. I bet you I can almost smell a campfire in Bruce's life. Christine says, but Dave, remember, Shanae called the women bitches and whores during the season. She was god awful. As I say, everything that happened after the initial limbic system flare is not healthy. But I still want to know what that was, okay? That doesn't, no, look, if someone got in a big fight with their buddy and they beat each other up, that wouldn't be okay that they beat each other up, but I'd want to know what started this anyway. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? All right, let's keep on going. A lot of voicemails, 401-213-9828. Keep calling.
Hey, Dave. It's Sonia from Georgia.
Hey, Sonia.
Sonia, not Tanya. I got to pick at you about that. Sorry. Okay. I have a question for the group. Would you rather be friends with Shanae or Sarah?
Who's Sarah?
And go.
Wait,
bye.
Am I forgetting a Sarah? Who's Sarah? Bachelor Sarah. I can't even remember. Oh, okay, Sarah. That's a good question. So Dr. Josh says, Shanae isn't fit for a group date. I'm sure she would be different in a regular relationship. No one talks about the fact that it's not normal to date multiple women who live together. Oh yeah, and Dr. Josh, we're not saying Shanae's a great person, but I do think the group dynamic caused some deep-rooted issues to come out. Absolutely. That's why they do it, folks. That's why they do it. But as far as Sarah goes, Sarah, I bet you it'd be easier to get along with Sarah, but clearly Sarah had some problems. But I think I would get along just fine with either one of them, to be quite honest. Christy from Missouri, you're up.
Hey, Dave, it's Christy from Missouri. I'm on here kind of late, so I'm not sure if you guys already brought it up, but I'm not a big fan of fighting fire with fire.
Yes.
And like all of them insulting her, Genevieve saying you're wearing a diaper, and that part wasn't a call for, but I can understand why
Did Genevieve say that? Can you guys confirm? Was Genevieve's? Oh, I hope Genevieve didn't say it. Genevieve's my cousin from another mother. Oh, I hope it wasn't Genevieve. GH girl says Shanae had no right to call Genevieve out for talking with a past Bachelorette contestant. Of course. It's slut shaming. It had nothing to do with the situation. Yeah, if you break up with someone and decide to date, bang someone right after, that doesn't mean you didn't. What people do and their coping skills to move on is none's my business.
Her and individually trying to tell her how they felt and everything, and the only other thing I can really see is, thanks to Shanae, instead of saying, okay, Karen, I just want to say, okay, Meryl, every time someone lies or does something theatric. But other than that, obviously it was eye-opening. You could tell Clayton was upset, and we'll definitely see that part. And I was really surprised Sarah wasn't owning up to what she was saying, and she was trying to wanting to backpedal when she kind of got caught, when she literally got caught lying about him crying. But anyways, sorry, I went too long. Have a good night. Bye.
No need to apologize. You guys are all fantastic. I might be probably... Kate C says, no spoilers. I can assure everybody that there is no spoiler that I've heard that is accurate. I don't know what happens.
You can't handle the truth.
And I don't know the truth. I don't know if Clayton knows the truth, to be honest. Amy says, I missed the beginning. Did anyone discuss the girl saying that Shanae's butt in her dress looked like she was wearing a diaper? Apparently, I'm hearing that Genevieve said that, although I'm not sure yet for sure. Organically Hannah, so good to see you, Organically Hannah. These girls embarrass themselves far more than they did Shanae. The secondhand embarrassment. Cringe face, 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 cringe face. That's right. I read it all. Olivia says, I would rather be friends with Sarah. Yeah, maybe Sarah. But from a guy's perspective, who knows? I guess it's Clayton is guilty of thinking he liked Sarah, so he believed her. Don't we do that? Don't we believe our dad because we love him, and why would he lie to us? Don't we believe our best friend? Don't we believe people in our life as a survival tool? Sometimes people lie.
Hey, Dave, Chris Marciano from South Carolina just was responding to your question about my comment saying I disagreed with you about the other women stooping to Shanae's level. I felt that Shanae instigated so much low-level insults and trouble with many women over the course of an extended period of time over a number of weeks.
But my point, so we're arguing different points. My point is that I don't know how it all began, and we all know that Shanae doesn't have healthy coping mechanisms. If she feels like someone fired on her, she's going to fire back 10 times worse. That's not healthy whatsoever. So we agree. We're not disagreeing.
The women didn't all react in the same way that she did. But I think tonight was their really only opportunity, after going to Clayton and telling him and being frustrated that he still kept Shanae around, that it was their only opportunity, and there was so much pent up frustration, anger, etc., that it was the only opportunity tonight to let it out and let everybody, and like they said, let America know how they really felt and let Clayton know how they really felt. I think some of the women who were most outspoken weren't necessarily the ones who had the biggest impact by Shanae. Certainly Elizabeth, just stayed quiet, and it just showed how gracious she is. So, I think she did a great job with that. And Clayton also got bombarded, and some deserved and some certainly not deserved. I mean, he certainly wasn't prepared for what he had to face in this type of situation, and probably thought he could navigate it better and didn't, and it gets to the best of them, and it's a shame because a lot of people got hurt, including the last 3 women, the last 4 women, and some of these other women as well. I think the biggest statement, the biggest tell-all statement was Teddy's closing statement, and I'll just leave it at that. So, glad to be here with everybody tonight, and there's more to come, so it ain't over till it's over.
It ain't
All right,
over.
bye.
Bye. It ain't over. Thank you for the call. I appreciate you. Nicole said, am I the only one under the impression that Sarah came back from her date in a whirlwind and accidentally exaggerated what happened? I'm not following where the jump between 1 and 2 is. Well, and thank you so much for the super chat, Emily Marie. I'll get to you very shortly. So I think the reason that people wanted to call Sarah out on her lies is because Sarah never owned up to the fact that she was accused of manipulating the competition, saying her relationship's so good that Clayton cried when they talked and they had this emotional thing. He's saying, I didn't do that. So for him to say, I didn't shed a tear, it's not so much about the tear so much as about proving that Sarah was willing to manipulate what went down. We didn't get to see all the conversations, the pillow talk, as they call it, that would have happened that left all the ladies to wonder if Sarah was manipulating them. Love you, Nicole. Thank you so much. We're going to have so much to talk about, guys. Let's play our next voicemail, and I'm going to catch up and get to that super chat right now.
Hey, Dave. It's Elizabeth calling from Southeast Pennsylvania. I listened to the entire episode while we were finishing up the closing duties at Aldi tonight, so I'm kind of glad that I wasn't sitting at home trying to relax because obviously not a relaxing episode, but holy cow, almost 450 people in the group chat, just really excited. Just remember when there would be like just under 200 still, and I know that Bachelor Fantex, we might be getting some of his crowd, so welcome if you have not joined into Dave Neal's live streams before. We hope you're having fun. I know I am. All right, have a great night. Bye.
I love it. Bye. Thank you, Elizabeth. I love it. You're like, all right, you got Dave. You got so many people watching your live stream. It only took Bachelor Fantake getting hospitalized. We love you. We hope that you're doing better. We know that he is. I believe he is, right? He said he's recovering. But either way, if I am your substitute teacher, if it's substitute Dave, I'll wheel in that TV. I'll pop in a movie of the Great Western Expansion or whatever. That's what we call the fantasy suite. All right, folks. Anyway, let's get into it. By the way, thank you, Martin, for the $5 super chat. His question was, why do you think they didn't openly speak about ADHD, neurodivergence, and that Shanae used against Elizabeth? It's a great question. It's probably a very complicated topic that they didn't want Jesse Palmer to handle. That's quite honest. Maybe they did talk about it and it got cut because there was so much other drama. I'm not sure. That conversation I would love to hear more about, handled through somebody who knows what they're talking about. It's hard because Elizabeth can explain what ADHD is, but I don't think she needs to be the person to explain because she's part of the drama. So I feel like we've learned a lot about neurodivergency dating back to last season, talking about it from Notebook Boy. Is his name Jared or something? Whatever his name was. And anyway, it's a conversation we'll keep having on our channel, but I can understand that the show might not have wanted to dive knee deep into that, although I think they owe it to us to have that conversation.
All right. Calling from Chicago again.
Hey, Chicago.
I'm watching your show and you are talking about how Shanae obviously felt triggered.
Hi, Abby Thomason.
That was something I was trying to sympathize with too. Like, sure.
Thank you, Emily.
There are times where people feel left out or unwanted or, maybe you felt like you developed a friendship with somebody and then they didn't feel the same way. And so you feel, I guess, rejected in that kind of sense. However, that doesn't, justify anything she did after the fact.
No one's trying to justify
or for her
Agreed.
to look at those clips and be like smiling and proud of herself. Like, I mean, okay, whatever works for you, but as much as I understand where I suppose that can make someone feel sad, maybe not to that extent, but to each their own.
You ever fight with someone before and they smile? We just don't know what. You ever fight with someone and they're like, we don't know what. So I used to get in fights with my sister and she would smile, but I know on the inside she was crying. That's just the way she dealt with it. So to think that Shanae's watching this clip back, smiling like she feels like she did no wrong, we just don't know that, right? We can't assume we know anything that she's feeling. And again, it doesn't justify it. There's no justifying it. But I believe that's what we do is we don't justify, but we discuss. Thank you so much. Emily Super Chat says, wasn't Sally supposed to make an appearance? They probably kept Sally's storyline. Reality Steve had said that Sally came out before the other women, and they probably did a quick interview and decided they just didn't need it. It was probably like an easy safety for them to have it if they need it, and they didn't need it.
Hey, this is Robin calling from Georgia. I'm calling because I did feel like it was a bit of a shit show with everyone yelling, but I just think these people haven't been able to express themselves since they first filmed everything, and it was bound to come out. Shanae didn't have any remorse, and so some people got set off. I blame the host. He didn't control anything. He was kind of a useless lump. Bye.
Bye. Well, you know, I don't disagree that he let a lot go, but, you know, he's got an earpiece in. They're telling him what to do. You know, I don't know. I mean, it would have been great to see Caitlin Bristow. I don't know if it would have been any different. It was one of those almost situations where it's like, all right, let him have it. Let it, like, he can cut them all off, or he can let them all talk and then get to his next point. I bet this was a 2-hour taping that they cut down to 40, that they cut to like, you know, no, I'm sure it was like a 3-hour taping that they cut down to an hour and a half. Excuse me. I think you err on the side of letting people hash it out and then reeling it back in, and then it's up to, you know, the editors to decide how to handle it. That's just my thought from a production point of view. Whereas I don't know if I would have done too much differently if I was in Jesse's shoes, other than maybe try to address some of the side calling stuff. But it like a food fight. Did Jesse even hear Genevieve make fun of Shanae's face? I mean, there's so much cross talking. Each one of them has a microphone on, so the show can if two people talk, the show can take the 28 microphones and turn them off and only air those two people, and then we can hear the main voices. We don't know if Jesse's able to hear all those things, so I don't quite buy that he, you know. And then people said, well, if Chris Harrison was here, he would have kept it all under control. No, this dogfight was happening regardless.
Hey, Dave, it's Ashley from San Antonio, Texas. These women tell-all episodes are just so exhausting to me, because all the drama is just so petty. I really liked Sierra a lot during the season, and I just hated how she presented herself this episode. She just inserted herself into every conversation, and I really hated that for her. I actually loved how Teddy and Serene handled this episode. They got a really good edit from this, and poor Jesse seemed like he was so overwhelmed this episode. The girls just kept talking over him, and they just did not respect him up there as the host at all. That's all I have to say. Thanks, Dave. Bye.
Bye, Ashley in St. Antonio, Texas. Yeah, it's exhausting. Yeah, it's exhausting. B. Bean said Dr. Kira shot her shot with Clayton. I'll be honest, I loved that moment, but I didn't love the way she talked to some other people. You could just see the slamming that was going on back and forth. And hey, who knows? Maybe I'd do the same thing. Who knows? I thought we had Karen from Huntsville. Is Karen from Huntsville out there? We'd love to hear from you. Call in. This is Karen from Canada.
Hey, Dave. It's Karen from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I have thought this all season, and after tonight's episode, I am certain that Aaron Clancy needs to get with Sierra. They're the same person.
Okay, maybe.
Bye.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it's exhausting to be with the same people. Emily Marie. says, I watch you all the time. So crazy hearing you say my name, Emily Marie. That sounds like what you would call your, like if you have a daughter named Emily and she like, stole or ate cookies from the cookie jar. Emily Marie, get upstairs. I feel like that's a scold. Marie is just, if your middle name's not Marie, are you even real? That's such a great middle name there. Hey, I'm a Dave, right? That's about as standard as it gets. Christine Marciano says, we love Substitute Dave. Good thing you are here for us. Yeah, glad to be here. I'm like the guy you call when the guy you wanted to hang out with is banging your other friend. That's who I am. I am Substitute Dave. All right. Your other friend being Bachelor fan take. Here's Justina from the Bronx. Oh, please tell me you have a really great Bronx accent. I really hope I have a good one here.
Hi, Dave. This is Justine from the Bronx, New York. I just wanted to comment on how I totally, unpopular opinion, didn't disagree with some of the things the girl said to Shanae. I think that the body shaming and calling each other bitches is not the way to go. But for someone like Ciara, who is necessarily not really my favorite, to confront Shanae and be like, well, you wanted to say all that on camera, kind of say it to my face. I think Shanae created such a bad environment in the house for these girls that when they watched it back, they just had to let out their pure emotions. And with what Ciara said, that is kind of New York energy. I don't know where she's from. But you should be true to your words. And she wanted to say those things about the girls behind their back, say it to their face. Again, I don't believe in calling girls bitches or body shaming, but I wasn't completely 100% upset with the way they reacted. At least in certain ways. But thank you, Dave. I really enjoy watching your channel. Have a good one.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, no, look, I mean, hey, I appreciate Shanae being called out. It's just overwhelming when 20 women are all yelling and clapping at her. It's like, what do we even, you can't even, make the episode 10 hours long. Like, let's get through it all. We literally would have watched it all, and yet it's just, it's so much. Olivia T says, I agree, Emily Marie. I watch Dave Neal every day. And when he said my name and comment, OMG, LOL. Oh, you guys should have a podcast. Coming up next is Olivia T and Emily Marie. All right, let's keep it going. Thank you, Justina from the Bronx. Let's go from Justina in the Bronx to Julie in Florida. You're up.
Hey, Dave. Julie, Florida. Just wanted to say I love your show, and just thanks for being you. You're funny as hell. Anyway, just wanted to say, did anyone else feel that Teddy kind of not ruined everything, but kind of told the whole story about how it's going to end with Clayton and maybe nobody? I don't know if anyone else felt like that or...
Well, I'll say this. I feel like the cat's been let out of the bag. It's been tweeted by the creator of the show saying, you guys don't know how it ends because we don't know how it ends. So I feel like that's where it stands, So I feel like it's kind of like it's a well-known secret now.
Not, but that was the feeling that I got. I mean, I guess we're going to find out. As far as Shanae goes, I have to say that I didn't feel badly for her, but I think that we all need to step back and realize that we really don't know what another person is going through. And while she put up a good front and played tough girl and acted as if she didn't care, we really need to be cognizant of, perhaps what she might be actually going through internally. I would hate for, God forbid, something to happen to her or for her to... in any event, I just think that people should be a little bit more aware of how they treat others. And but these are a bunch of women that were being immature and not thinking clearly. They were just, I think they were just living in the moment and reacting to what went on in the house. Anyway, okay, I'm taking up a lot of your time here. So that's it. Thanks again, and keep up the great work.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And look, hey, I'm all about consequences of action. So if people want to roast Shanae, absolutely, by all means. If they have something they need to take up with her, by all means. With that said, I just think it's like not exactly the highest form of thinking to think that Shanae's not remorseful at all. I truly mean that. She might not show it, but like I said, when sometimes you fight with someone and they're smiling, you don't know. We just don't know. We just don't know. It might look like it. She's not remorseful, but we just don't know. And again, if she's not willing to apologize, it's like she's getting someone to apologize in a hostage situation. No one was going to believe it if Shanae apologized anyway. So anyway, so I don't care too much for that. All right, so we are at 52,680 subscribers. I'm going to continue this chat another half hour if you can get me to 52,700 subscribers in the next 5 minutes. Okay? So it's 7:56. If by 8:01 you get that number, 52,680 to 52,700, if we can find 20 votes, as Trump would say, if we can find 20 subscribers, I'll keep going for another half hour. I've got 3 voicemails left, and then voicemails are wide open. I'll play one more voicemail, and then I'll let you know on the progress of that. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's go to the next voicemail. Again, I have 3 left, and then wide open. So now's your chance to call in. Let's go to one of our favorite callers, Kim in Texas.
Hey, Dave. This is Kim from Texas. I'll admit I didn't watch it every second or minute or even 10 consecutive minutes. It was too much for me. They were getting on my nerves. It was over the top. Mostly disappointed in Sierra. I don't know if they were all auditioning or what. They kept interrupting. I've never watched a show while people were in the hot seat talking, or if Clayton was up there talking with Jesse or whatever. I've never experienced where they constantly interrupt, say whatever they wanted to say, and then just started talking as if they were supposed to be part of the conversation. That was crazy to me and annoying. And I don't think Clayton deserved that heat, any of the heat. When you're on The Bachelor, you're in a bubble. And then they are constantly telling you, go with that feeling, feel that. How do you feel about that? Express that. And he did. And he's not the only person to fall in love with more than one person. He's not the only person who has sexed more than one person or all 3. Many of them have done it. Most of them do it. The men and the women, the lead. So, I don't hold that against him. It's just that we know about it. That's all. It's just that we know about it, and I don't think he should be judged for it. To think that you may be the only one is kind of naive to me. It's hopeful and wishful, but they all do it, and I think he's a great guy, and I think they were just going extra. The producers, he can't say anything. If he wanted to send Shanae home and they told him not to yet, he can't go around saying, well, I kept her because they told me I had to keep her. No, he has to say, okay, I made some bad decisions. Maybe he didn't want to make those decisions, though. Bye.
Thank you so much for the call. Kim in Texas, right? It's Texas, Kim calling in, saying, hey, you don't feel like Clayton deserved all the heat he got. We're 5 away. Can you hear me now? We are 5 away from unlocking another 30 minutes. And we have 2 minutes. You have 120 seconds to get me 4 subscribers, and we'll unlock that. Great question by Nicole. Which is more misogynistic? Women screaming obscenities at each other out of pure effing rage, or the standard that women can't express themselves and have to be quiet, classy, and poised? It's a great question. It's a great hypothetical. I would say, I think silence. I think someone being silenced is worse than saying their opinions. So I would rather someone share how they're feeling, however we feel about that, versus feeling subdued or silenced. We are 1 away, and this was fantastic. We have 1 minute left. 1 minute left to get 1 subscriber. Oh, we lost 1. We need 2 subscribers. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Nicole says this caller never misses. No, we absolutely love when Kim calls in. All right, so we need 2 subscribers. Oh, now 3. Oh, man, this is a bad thing. We're actually losing people here. This is not good. We might not be able to unlock this. It's our final minute. We need 3 subscribers, and somehow, all right, we need 2 subscribers in less than 60 seconds. How about this? Why don't we do this? Why don't I give you guys I'm going to give a 1 minute countdown, and this will decide whether or not we stick around. All right. So there it is. 1 minute to go. That's your countdown. I'm going to play. 2 subscribers left. I'm going to play some music and let me know. Here's your music. And here we go. 52,699. Oh, well, there it is, folks. All right. Okay. All right. You guys did it. I'm going to go to the new comments here if I have to skip anyone. Looks like we made it. Nicole says, who unsubbed? All right, so it looks like we're good there. I'll turn this off. But if we lose subscribers, we'll be done. Boy, what? That's all it took to inspire 26 of you guys to subscribe. We should be doing that more often. Oh my gosh, they're coming in now. Oh boy, geez, wow. All right, so let's get out of there. Boy, that's all it took, right? Okay, let's play some more voicemails. You guys are fantastic. You're making my night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. We have a man calling in. This is breaking news. We have a phone call from a man. Actually, I got to turn this sound off in the background, and let's play our male caller.
Hi.
Wait, this isn't a male. Sorry, I apologize. I thought we had a male calling in.
This is Jess calling from
Oh, it's Jess. It said Jeff.
Indianapolis, and I have 2 things to comment on. One, I just think it's so hilarious to think back to pre-Michelle's season when we already found out that Clayton was Bachelor, and Bachelor Nation or ABC was trying to make us all believe that we were going to love Clayton and that he was going to be the best person ever and that we were just going to be so enamored by him. And literally the women's reaction to him tonight is like just so funny to me thinking about that in retrospect, because it was like the Juan Pablo effect again. We knew nothing about him. And they threw this man on us, and he kind of sucked. Okay, so the second thing I want to say is it possible that Clayton took a ton of heat for the whole Shanae thing unnecessarily because possibly he was being forced to keep her for drama by production? Is that something that we know that the show does, or is there still speculation about that? And is it possible that Shanae was under some sort of contract in terms of what she had to do in order to be a villain, and maybe she is actually an actress? I don't know. I'm always suspicious of that every season. So, anyways, that was longer than 30 seconds. I apologize. I just have a lot of opinions. Okay, bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for the call. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Shanae. Now look, I think Clayton was attracted to her, and he wanted to know. I mean, the guy's trying to find his wife. So he's not trying to see who's the nicest person in the room. He's saying, all right, I need to know. And just like he said, I need to know without a shadow of a doubt that Shanae is doing stuff that can't be explained. You know, if afterwards he watches her and he sees that it was mutual or whatever, and he says, well, all the women in the house agreed. Well, didn't all the men in the house agree that Thomas was a bad guy? Didn't everybody agree that Thomas was a bad guy? Oh, he's the worst. Thomas is so bad. Okay. Right? Here's Thomas. He's creating a charity after his dog passes away to help underprivileged people form their vet bills. We're really going to believe a group of people? No. I wouldn't have trusted a group of people I never met because they all have an ulterior motive, which is to kick out the threats. 52,708. I can get rid of this countdown. Apparently it's going to go off every single time. So anyway, we lost 2, but we're still above 700. So thank you guys so much for that. Jess Lynn said, wait, so is my voicemail not going to be heard? Listen, Jess, I'm ignoring you specifically. There was something about your voicemail I didn't want to play. Tell me what your area code is, and I'll let you know. Wait, are you the one that just, called in? Because if I were you, I'd feel pretty dumb if you were like, why isn't he playing my voicemail? And then I just played your voicemail. That's probably the same Jess from Indianapolis, right? Just confirm with me in the comment section that I did play your voicemail so I don't look for it. I hope you understand. I'm running a quagmire of a setup right now. It essentially is like a cruise ship that has been sprayed with bullets, and I have one roll of Scotch tape that I'm trying to plug all the leaks. That's how I run my live streams. So I don't know if I got to your message. I might have skipped it, but it looks like I got to every message. Actually, I'm going to play our next message, which is our last message. I'd love to get 3 more callers. So call in if you want. The wait time is very short because this is my last message. 401-213-9828. Let's go to Brooke from Little Rock, Arkansas. I know it's Arkansas.
Hey, Dave. This is Brooke from Little Rock.
What a great energy, Brooke. Whatever you're doing, you're killing it. All you said was, hey, Dave, this is Brooke from Little Rock. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words. And I would trust you with my firstborn, Brooke. You just sound so endearing. Don't blow this.
I just wanted to say that I really thought that the women were really unfair in attacking Cassie today. I think she had some good points. A lot of women go on that show thinking that they probably won't have a connection with the person that's the lead. I mean, they have like a 1 in 25 chance. And with Clayton, I mean, he fell in love with everybody, but he's probably going to end up with nobody. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Bye.
Bye. Listen, best case scenario, if he's not ready to settle down, best case scenario is that he just ends up with nobody, right? So Griselda's in the chat room. We remember Griselda from Griselda Goods. Griselda was making these beautiful earrings and donating the proceeds to a church in Ukraine. So she shared this earlier, how many she sold. Griselda said she sold 35 pairs. Griselda, do you know how many pairs have been bought from our channel? I'm not really sure, but she said this nice message earlier. I'll play one brief clip.
A good start to your week. I just wanted to get on.
So she said hello.
A quick shout out to Dave Neal. If you watch any Bachelor.
So she gave us a nice shout out, but she's not shouting me out so much as she's shouting out the audience because you guys have helped her support her by buying some of these goods. But here's Griselda. She says thank you to everyone. I have a bone to pick with Griselda. She reshared Katie Thurston posting her images here. So clearly Griselda values Katie Thurston more. I'm just kidding. We love you. Thanks for being in the chat. Let us know if you're sharing your status update. Let us know have you had to add more into production? Have you sold enough? I mean, how adorable are these? We know, as Griselda told us, which by the way, beautiful name. I don't know if I've known a Griselda before, but I really love it. But Griselda created these sunflower. Sunflower is the flower of Ukraine. And as we know, Ukraine's obviously in the middle of a war. Sometimes we say that as a figure of speech, but it is for sure a war that they're in. And just the simple proceeds from this will go to one church and help fund their mission to help people right now. And I think that's a good thing. And I appreciate that good people in my community are doing good things. So thank you so much. Let us know if you don't mind. And if you do, that's fine. But I know you were in my DMs there. Shoot me a message or let us know how much you've raised. We'd love to know. There was a link, but just go to Griselda Goods on Instagram because I don't have the link offhand, but I had it in the previous hour's live stream. So you can go to the live stream or griseldagoods.com. I guess I can just copy and paste that, griseldagoods.com, and I think that should take you to it. Let me see if that gets to you guys. That should be in the chat right now. All right, so Aaron Bray says, I'm excited for tomorrow's videos. There was a chance I was going to have to take the dog to the vet because he's had a weird intestinal problem, but he might have he might be doing better. He might have just been really hungry. He was making noise and they said it's either something serious or it's when a dog's really hungry. Well, he was farting for a few days and then had really bad, he let it all out. And I think he was just really hungry from after having that stomach issue. So I think he's okay. He ate a bunch tonight. It's always good when he's eating and drinking. So I think he's fine. But if that's the case, I'm going to have to get up super early tomorrow, make some content, and then take him to the vet. Because then we're going to Vegas because I have some shows there. But Griselda said every bit counts. Of course, I'm so happy Katie shared. Katie's always a good sport when it comes to sharing with good charities. But I think Griselda told us in the comment section here, your Ukraine. Oh, wait, hold on. Angel says it's pronounced Ukraine, not Ukraine. Ukraine. Ukraine, not Ukraine. Angel, if you want to call in and tell me how to pronounce that, I would appreciate it. Griselda says, I have 33 pairs of earrings to make, all from today. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, Veronica says, are they sunflowers? They sure are. They're sunflowers. It's the flower of Ukraine, not Ukraine, but Ukraine. I'm not good. I was never good when I studied language with my pronunciation, so I hope I'm doing that justice. Let's go to our last voicemail. The voicemail line's open, 401-213-9828. I promised you an extra 30, so we'll go for another 20 minutes or so.
Hey, Dave. Tanya from Georgia again. Just couldn't resist calling again since the line was open. And, yeah, I don't know that I'd be friends with any of those girls, but would definitely give them a chance, even after they acted the way they did, because that's just the kind of person I am. I give people lots of chances. But it really was just kind of sad seeing all the girls be so ugly to each other. Kind of made Shanae look good. I don't know. But love you, adore you, enjoy everything you produce. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. I tell you what, I have to pee really bad. Rather than wait 20 minutes, let's do this. I'm gonna set a 2-minute timer. So I'm gonna be back in 2 minutes. Oh, Sophia's calling right now. All right, sorry. Okay, I'll set the timer after. All right, I'll talk to Sophia. Hold on one second. I'm not connected. I thought I was. Do. 1 second. Can you hear me, Sophia?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you're not on the air yet, so they might be able to hear you, but just give me a second. I wasn't ignoring you per se. I'm just trying to catch up on all these. You know how it is. We just so many. Hold on. You should be connected. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you're in there. So, you're one to take the sort of counter opinion, and I'm not asking you to, but what are your thoughts on Shanae? What's your honest? Could you be friends with this chick or no?
I feel like I would be friends with her. She reminds me of one of my friends. And it's funny because I totally get where she's coming from. She was misunderstood from the beginning. Like, she said a comment, I really don't think she believed in the whole ADHD thing. And then they put the villain card on her. She thought she was going to pull a Demi and like own it or whatever. And it would kind of twist in a popular way. And then it turned on her. And now she's just kind of being stubborn in the way that Shake was, you know, and it's just, you know, I kind of feel bad for her. I get her. It's fine. I would be friends with her.
Yeah, I'm the same way where like I get somebody who like can't she's not willing to apologize for whatever weakness she would feel, and that's her own battle to fight. But I really do, and I know we had this discussion before, but I really do think that a lot of Shanae's anger comes with not being able to hang in a dialogue with Elizabeth.
Yeah, I think so. I think like her whole thing, there are some people who just don't want to apologize even when they know they're wrong, and it takes a lot of guts sometimes to admit when you're wrong, you know? So I think she just wants to be stubborn in her way and be like, no, I'm not going to do it, because in a way, yeah, the girls, especially tonight, were attacking her. So I kind of feel bad for her. And I get where she's coming from. She's kind of like a little Demi to me, like a little wannabe Demi, owning the villain thing, trying to, you know, play that villain card up.
Yeah. I mean, you look, like, right, there's people in families that never talk to their dad again or sibling or whatever because of pride and the inability to access their emotions and say, hey, I messed up. Now on the show, we saw Shanae sort of apologize, and I don't know if you remember when Shanae apologized, had tears, and then afterwards says, I was kidding. I mean, I'm going out on a limb, but I actually think she felt bad and then felt dumb for feeling bad, like it was a sign of weakness, and then had to like take it back. That's
exactly how I felt. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
And either way, it doesn't make it right. She should hopefully she can come to terms with her inability to access those emotions. But you know, sometimes people just come from a different neck of the woods where they weren't good. Now look, Elizabeth, you can say everything that's perfectly right. You know, she can say, I have ADHD, my auditory inputs. And for me, like, Sophia, I've had to learn a lot about these things. I talk about this with Tasha, with her ADHD. I've learned a lot about how it presents in women and how it's different in everyone, how our blueprints are different. With that said, Elizabeth still kind of comes off holier than thou. We saw it after the show. We saw it as she kind of talked down to Clayton tonight. There's just this air of superiority with her that could have been very much enlarged with Shanae seeing that, feeling like threatened, like, oh, you think I'm stupid? You think you know more than me? You know, that's just how, that's what I think could be a possibility.
Yeah, I agree with that, because the thing is, I honestly don't believe Shanae thought that she had ADHD. Like, she probably didn't believe her. And on top of that, I think that if she is neurodivergent, like, that is not an excuse in some way for certain things. So, like, as a lot of people lean on it, and I know that people hate that thought, that they're like, oh, well, I'm like this, and this is how I am, and blah, blah, blah. Whatever their argument was, I forgot what it was. But I think that's where Shanae came from, where she was just like, your ADHD supposedly in her head, because she didn't believe her at that time, has nothing to do with this argument. So, and then when everyone attacked her, I think she kind of was like, whoa, everyone attacked me. I thought she for sure didn't think, she thought people were going to agree with her. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's complicated, but the easy answer is to say, Shanae bad. Okay, well, what's the greater conversation? Now, Sophia.
People always want to lash out. People love to attack on someone, you know?
I'm going to give you something.
Look at Shake, but, you know.
Sophia, I know you tried to call in a few times. I'm going to give you the chance to talk for 60 seconds while I go pee. Are you ready?
About what?
Listen, the channel is yours. I'll be back in 60 seconds.
You need to give me a topic. We need the topic, people.
Okay, the topic is me.
The topic is you. Okay. That is dangerous, indeed. All right, you go. Go, I got this. Hello? He hung up on me. Gone? Dave? Have we lost you? Am I being heard? I can't hear a thing. Is he talking to me? Should I turn on the... What? He's gone. Oh, I think it's because he's... Okay, maybe people can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. I'm rocking a mic right now. How you guys doing? Oh, my God. Okay, fine. He's gone. Well, you know, I didn't like the body shaming thing at all. No. I wish did she actually look like she was wearing a diaper, or were like these people going off on her? I missed that part, but if they were, you know, being mean to some girl's peach, you leave her alone, the big booty girls, okay. Jealous.
What'd I miss?
Body shaming is not cool. I don't know. Where are you? I don't even know if you could, I couldn't hear you. I was like, he left.
I just got back.
Oh, you're back?
Yeah,
okay,
I didn't hear anything you said, but I could always watch it back, but I trust you.
Okay, don't trust me.
I don't mind a good roasting. Hey, I'm fair game to be roasted.
No, I wouldn't roast you.
I take it as such flattery when someone wants to roast me. So anyway.
No, I wouldn't roast you.
Yeah, it's you know, it's hard. It's hard with Shanae, with conversations about Shanae. It's hard to like comment, oh, you know, I don't think Shanae's all evil. People go, what do you mean? She called her this, she called her that. And you go, yeah, I don't know. Do we have like a legal mindset? You just look back to the beginning and you go, it didn't all start that way. Shanae felt that Elizabeth ignored her. What we know about Elizabeth is she's hyper-focused, so she can only have one auditory input at a time, or stimulus at a time. And even though that's explained to Shanae, it doesn't change the fact that Shanae felt unheard. When people feel unheard, that can be one of the greatest, like, triggering feelings for people. Again, not to make it right, but, you know, it's complicated.
Yeah, and people jump to the defensive, and I think that's where Shanae's at right now. Like, she's just super, super defensive right now, and she doesn't want, like, I think she honestly feels like she didn't mean it in that way, so she didn't do anything wrong in her head, so she's just trying to own up to it, and she's like, no, I am not apologizing, and now you people are being mean to me. Like, I don't know, but I think also, why is Clayton being attacked? Is it because of the fact that he kept Shanae around, or Like, why is everyone being so hard on Clayton?
Did I miss something? One of my theories is that Clayton is the only person that they can criticize. They can't criticize the show.
But he doesn't know what's going on.
No, I know.
And he can only base his opinion on what the girls tell him. And we know from many seasons that there are so many people who will say this, that. Everyone's talking about other people. You can't blame Clayton for being like, well, I like this girl. I think there's something going on. You know, I don't trust the girls, or let me make my own decisions for myself, and taking that on.
Yeah.
And then what? He's a bad guy now because he doesn't know what's going on.
Now, Crafty Beach.
The Bachelor, it's his decision. You know?
Crafty Beach says, "Can we stop defending Shanae?" Wouldn't it be funny if I just turned the live stream off anytime someone was like, "Can we stop?" No. So, and again, we like Crafty Beach, but it's not.
We will not stop talking about anything ever.
Yeah, it's not about defending Shanae. It's about, like, look, we all know calling people bitches and hoes is bad. We all know, lying. We know those things are bad. Let's talk about the more complicated aspect, which is, why is someone acting out? Do we think that Shanae? I mean, the easy answer is, oh, she's a paid actress. She went on the show. I don't believe she's a paid actress. I mean, if she is,
pay her. Come on,
man. If she's a paid actress, good for her.
I think that's what she's aiming to be, is a paid actress. But I don't think she is as we speak.
Yeah. So
I don't know. The whole Clayton thing. I just think poor Clayton, this poor guy right now, because everyone's just jumping on him over nothing. So, I don't know, guys. I feel bad for Clayton. Just because he's a little handsy and he doesn't know what's going on doesn't mean you can, jump on the guy and be like, blah, 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 blah. So he slept with 3 girls, or whoever, how many, who knows? It's a fantasy suite. It's The Bachelor. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's like I think it's easy to criticize the men because we look at them as like they should have all the answers. The reason he was cast on the show is because they did extensive psychological interviews and they decided his people-pleasing nature, and maybe like he wasn't the best looking, so when he gets validated by all these women, he's going to want to respond in kind. All these different issues lead to him being a perfect disaster. Clayton was put in a position he couldn't possibly succeed in, and a lot of women, we saw them turning on him, some for their own clout, people like Lindsay. Now, I've got nothing against people doing what they want with their clout, but Lindsay clearly is playing like the heavy social media game. I'm going to pull up her account right now. She was calling him out. Maybe I don't have her right name. But either way, she called him out as a liar, and it's like, was Clayton lying, or was he doing the best dating 30 women? None of the women that were there know what it's like. Every single person that has been a lead, literally every single person that's ever been a lead on the show, empathizes with Clayton's situation. So it's like, does that mean
they know what it's like?
Yeah. Does that
100%? Because they know what it's like. It's hard to be in that position. You don't know what's going on at the house. You don't know who to believe. You got 30 different women telling you a whole bunch of different things, whereas you have to make your own decision. Whereas when we're looking at the whole Shanae situation, he doesn't know what's happening. He's like, she's being real nice to me, and I like this guy to put my hand on, but so let him. It's his call.
Yeah,
and when the women do it, no one says anything, right? What, Hannah? They were cheering for Hannah.
Like I mentioned before, when the whole house on Katie's season decided Thomas was a bad guy, I'll be the first one to say, I don't think he's that bad. And sure enough, he seems like a good guy.
I never thought Thomas was bad. Yeah, no, Thomas was just being honest.
Yeah,
Thomas was laying down some facts. And he was the only one being honest, and everyone jumped on him for it.
And
that's what you get when you go on these reality shows, you're always going to get there looking for the villain, or looking for who's not there for the right reasons, or when in the end, it's like no one's there for the right reason. Everyone's looking for some Instagram following stuff, Everyone wants to be at the front of the show, whether it's being the villain, the good person, the victim, whoever it is. Everyone's looking for their time to shine.
Yeah. And it's not to say that the Thomas situation is the same as Shanae's. It's just to show that Clayton sees these paths of villains being ganged up on. Normally, the villain is somebody who everyone else sees a threat, and then there's some sort of fissure, and then they pile on. If you look back to Olivia, she was kind of like, I think Olivia, I don't know, was it Ben Higgins season? Whoever season, yeah, I believe. She was, I think, a first impression rose winner, so she had a target on her back. And then if they could decide they didn't like her, they were like, oh, yeah, we don't like her. When we see Sarah get the second one-on-one, she gets a target put on her back. So the villain is usually someone who has a little bit of a threat, and it's usually over-exaggerated. So I don't blame Clayton one bit for not, believing Sierra or some of the other women, because he didn't have the same emotional connection with them.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Like they're not in that position where they're the Bachelor and they're hearing the one side of the story from one person or the other. Like being in this position is hard, which is why I assume all the other Bachelor or Bachelorettes totally gets where Clayton is coming from, because he's like, guys, I didn't know what was going on, and usually on the show, it's not always something so big, and he doesn't know. He can't, and the whole sleeping with multiple people. Everyone does it. And it's not like he was being Pablo about it. He wasn't like, going off and being really, I don't think he told the women in a way that was mean. I think he told the women just to be honest.
Well, so let's address that. So PMD says, it's not sleeping with the girls. It's talking about sleeping with the girls. Now, obviously, there's over communicating. If we look at Shake from Bachelor, from Love is Blind, there's over communicating. Oh, yeah. They're saying things that you don't always need to say. Well, no.
The thing with, when it comes to Shake was just rude. He was just rude and disrespectful to poor Deep D, who did not deserve it. Now, when it comes to Pablo was completely disrespectful in the way that he talked about his experience in the fantasy suite. I think that Clayton was 100% being honest and just wanted to be open and honest and undisclosed with these women. Now, we don't know because we haven't seen that episode yet. But I think it'll show that he just wanted to be honest, that he's not bragging about it. He's not he's just being like, I don't know what to do. This is what happened. He was just trying to be honest. That's what I think.
Yeah, and we had PMD is giving some great comments, says, why does the opinion of the women matter? They are all competing. And I agree. We can't trust anybody because they're all competing. So if one girl snitches on another, there's really no, people go, oh, I'm looking out for his best interest. No, everybody's self-serving. So Clayton didn't trust the other women until it was his finalists who he built all of his trust in, saying, hey, Sarah's lying or Sarah's doing all this. So I can totally understand why he's extremely protective over who he trusts. Now look, I got voicemails that are rolling in, so I gotta get to those. But is there anything that we didn't cover, or did we solve world peace? I think we solved it.
I think we solved the world peace. No, not there yet. But we came close. We came close.
We came close. Just like the fantasy suite. Yeah. Hopefully they come close, but who knows? We'll have to see how it goes.
Close for sure.
All right. Well, thanks again for all your participation. I always appreciate the phone calls.
Okay. Have a good night, Dave. Bye,
everyone. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Sophia in Mount Royal, that's Montreal, Canada, calling in. Thank you so much for the call, as always. Veronica says, because the women are sentient and feel repercussions when someone acts horrible against them. I wouldn't want to be with a mean man. Yeah, I mean, look, but in this, I don't know if that was in response to the last question. B Bean says, why is it wrong to say who you slept with? Remember the windmill? Yeah. Again, I'm trying to normalize. Now hold on. This might sound crazy. Might sound crazy. I'm trying to normalize waiting to watch the episode before I react. Now, I kind of sometimes can inflame conversations and create killer thumbnails. I mean, what font is that even? That's the Yellow Jacket. We talk about it on the Patreon. If you want to know, the Patreon tomorrow is going to be lit. As long as I don't have to go to the vet for emergency reasons, but I think the dog's doing better. But either way, point being, we what is the point? What is the point of any of this, really? There's a war. There's a world war ready to break out. We got our fingers like hovering on top of the nuclear buttons. Like, what do we even? You ever have those moments where you're like, what are we even talking about? Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way, And let's get to 3 of your voicemails, and we're going to slowly work our way out of this mess. I appreciate everyone hanging out there. We still have over about 450 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't done already, please hit the like button and subscribe at DNeals on Instagram. We'll get to the next. We have 4 voicemails. Let's go to our next one.
Hey Dave, it's me, Angel.
Angel.
Yeah, you got it right. So it's pronounced Ukraine, not Ukraine. But if you want to say it right, then it's Ukraina. Anyway,
Ukraina.
You're awesome. Love you guys. Bye.
Angel, you are an angel to our channel. Thank you so much. Angel has family, I believe you said, in Ukraine and Russia, and we pray through whatever deities or orbs or crystals or whatever means possible that they are safe and that you are both safe and feeling that your family's okay. Let's listen to that one more time, because to my naked ear, it sounded like you said the same Ukraine. So let's listen to one more time.
Hey Dave, it's me, Angel. Yeah, you got it right. So it's pronounced Ukraine, not Ukraine.
Okay, Ukraine, not Ukraine.
Yeah, you got it right. So it's pronounced Ukraine, not Ukraine.
Ukraine, not Ukraine. It sounds to me like I'm saying the same thing, and I'm trying to say it your way.
Hi, this is Jeff from Indianapolis. That's Jeff with some S's. I am not Jeff. But the funny thing is that my dad's name is Jeff. My name is Jeff.
Hello, Jess, not Jeff. Well, I'll just tell you. So this is what it shows when you call. You want to see what it shows? It shows me this. So that's why I thought you were Jeff, because it'll like auto text, which is good because sometimes people will say some really hurtful things, and I'll try to. Although to be honest, I haven't avoided one voicemail tonight, but sometimes it'll like show me asterisks if someone's like if a troll's calling in and they're saying something very off color. I'll try to avoid that. But thank you.
Hey, Dave, it's Karen from Hamilton, Ontario again. I believe
That seems
literally impossible.
Whoa, hold on a second. Hold on. I had to turn my my TikTok started playing. Hold on. I'm gonna get back to you. Let's go. Let's start this at the beginning. That was my fault.
Hey, Dave, it's Karen from Hamilton, Ontario again.
Love.
Everyone is so hard on Clayton is because most of them know how this season actually ends, or what's about to happen, and they're taking the other women's sides. That's just my opinion. I hope everyone's having a great night. Bye.
Yeah, you gotta, it's a good point. I'm trying to think of the recent season. This might have been, I'm trying to remember what season this was, where someone said, you know what you did, and they called out the lead before something happens. It could have been, oh boy, it's on the tip of my tongue. Now, not that it matters. Boy, doesn't it look like I'm bloodshot? We're going to get out of here in a couple minutes. But if anyone does want to call in, now's your last chance. 401-213-9828, 401-213-9828. But yeah, maybe they know something we don't. So let's see if there's any new memes popping up here. We have yet to find out if Teddy was lying about being DM'd by Clayton's brother. For sure, this will be a story tomorrow. PSA, Clayton didn't cry on his one-on-one with Sarah. We got that. Kira is the GOAT, says Susie Evans. Not Kira shooting her shot. So I loved her for shooting her shot. Reality Steve said everyone thinks they know everything until they don't. Tomorrow morning you will get all the answers I have to this season, like I promised. Don't have every detail, but I have the main thing. I am going to set my alerts for Reality Steve, and I'm going to be so ready to break whatever, or to report on whatever news he has, because I honestly don't know what it is. I had a nice long chat with Reality Steve last week. We talked for like over an hour and a half. It's so interesting. We have such a similar experience being outsiders, but within Bachelor Nation. Now, obviously, he's got a much larger following, but it's interesting to trade notes with him because we're both guys that cover the show. Some of us, we're were liked and disliked at the same time. Some people don't like me. If you go to Bachelor fan takes comments, I mean, some people roast me. It's like, I'm just not for them. So there's a lot of people that don't like Reality Steve, but there's a lot of people that get a lot of value from Reality Steve. I don't see him nearly as harmful as some people do. I think he's just a bloke who has a blog and he's trying his best, you know? But either way, he gets the information no one else gets, and we'll have to see what he has to say first thing in the morning. Nate Eckhard said, release the DMs, Teddy. Oh, I cannot wait. I should start screen grabbing all of this right now. So this is how I screen grab it. I just grab it like that. If you do Control-Alt-4, it'll only screen grab the portion you want to. Because Clayton said that his brothers have been denying that they slid into Teddy's DMs. Now Nate is saying, release the DMs, Teddy. How funny is this story? But on Elizabeth's live, she said that Teddy and Andrew are seeing each other. She said Andrew is spoken for by Teddy, Andrew Spencer. She also admitted that ABC forced her to remove her rose photos that she posted earlier in the season, right after her time on the show ended. So pissed out. So hold on. She said that Teddy and Andrew are seeing each other, and that she admitted ABC forced her to remove her rose photos that she posted earlier in the season. Yeah, so we knew that. We knew that Elizabeth had to delete her photos, and now we know that. Now we know the full story there. Now let's go to Teddy's page. I don't even know what Teddy's Instagram is. Is this Teddy right here? Teddy Wright? Is that her? Let's see if she released the DMs. It doesn't look like she's released the DMs. All right, we don't have any info from Teddy yet. All right, the ball is in Teddy's court. We'll have to see what she says. That's a fascinating story. We're going to have so much to talk about tomorrow. Aaron Bray says, does anyone else think he sent Teddy home strictly because she's a virgin? I definitely feel it was a major, if not the factor. Well, just because Teddy wasn't making a big deal about it doesn't mean other people won't. And if he wasn't that into her, or say Teddy and, I don't know, say Teddy and Sarah, say he liked them an equal amount. But with Teddy came this news story and fantasy suites and this and that and all this hogwash. You know, the tie might go to the less dramatic storyline. I could see that. Sonia Castellanos with a super chat. Let's get to that right now. Yes, I've been eating trail mix. People were wondering what I was eating. Let's see. Yes, I've been told we might have some Bachelor alumni in the chat room, which is always nice when we see that. I'm going to my DMs. Lots of DMs from people out there. Shanae, the best dressed in the Women Tell All. Some people said Shanae was the best dressed in the Women Tell All. Sure. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Everyone brought it. I thought everyone looked gorgeous. All right, let's go to our next voicemail. We have two voicemails left. Kathy from Texas.
Hey, Dave, this is Kim from Texas again.
Kim,
calling back because
Kim
I guess you
from
wanted us to express how we felt about Madness Shanae. I don't dislike any of them because, I guess I don't care enough. I don't know these people. I know that this is a TV show and people come on for different reasons. Even if people came on for love, they still may have a side reason, which is to be seen. And Shanae is probably a great person and loved by many who know her. And what we saw is one side of her that she chose to show. And I agree that Shanae probably, I think she even said it. Was it her or Cassidy? No, Cassidy was saying it, but Shanae may feel the same way. She thought that what she was doing was not bad. And then when it didn't work or people didn't like her for her behavior, she doubled down and got worse. There's no excuse for her behavior. We all do things because of a reason.
Right.
Whether we behave in a positive way or whether we overcompensate and we're people pleasers, we do it for a reason, something that has happened to us. When we behave in a negative way, it's done for a reason. There's something that happens in all of our lives, but it's still always a choice. And there's no discernment or understanding that when if one person is saying something to you about how you are, maybe it's just them. But if 2, 3, 5, 10 people are saying something to you about your behavior and the way he spoke to her, when Clayton would tell her about her behavior, she recognized it was wrong. She didn't really care, but she knew it was wrong and that she had to apologize for it, but she didn't care. So no one is all bad, like I said, and I'm sure that the people who know her and love her think she's amazing. She came on here and did the job that the TV show loves her for, and yeah, she's going to be all right. It's these other people who were triggered by her and acted, loud on the show. They're the ones who are going to have some residual effects more so than Shanae. I think Shanae is going to be fine because this is not the show. But look at Shake. Shake is milking his villainity. Is that a word? Being a villain or being named a villain as much as he can. I mean, Kim Kardashian said something about him. So, Shanae will be all right.
Always love a call from Kim in Texas. Yeah, Shanae will be all right. You're right. Whenever anyone gets triggered by someone else, it's important. Look, all we can do is control ourselves. So if we're watching a show and something triggers us to feel a certain way, look in at how you can improve yourself, because you can't improve somebody else. And if you can't improve somebody else, either watch the show and try not to improve anything. Just watch it. Maybe you don't want to do any work in yourself. That's fine too. Or look at why you get triggered a certain way. I used to get so mad. Or I would get so triggered when Tasha would want to go on a vacation. And I realized it was because I always felt inadequate, like I couldn't afford to take time off. And that was a real poverty mindset I had to overcome. So to the outside person looking in, if my significant other wants to go on a nice vacation with her lover and spend time traveling, to an outsider looking in, I would have looked like a huge asshole because I would have been like, no, we can't go. We needed to, no. But in reality, my trigger was that I didn't feel adequate enough. Like I didn't feel secure enough to take time off because money was tight. And that's my own trigger to work out. That's my own, and I still do. It still happens. I still get overwhelmed when I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? Hold on, wait, what? No, I need to be here. I need to be doing this. Like I've set the bar so high for myself that it becomes hard for me to get away. Well, one of the things about a relationship is that you get challenged to think a different way because you're living with someone who thinks a different way. And with situations like Shanae and the other women, sometimes those challenges end in fights, whereas if it were in a relationship and you were really committed to each other, those challenges would end in overcoming, being enlightened. And I truly believe we're all in this spinning rock because our soul and spirit is trying to learn how to become more enlightened, how to become less triggered, how to have the ego not be so inflamed by all this stimuli. And then when you can learn to react in a way that's not super reactionary, and then when you can learn to avoid your reaction altogether, you start to live on a plane of enlightenment and happiness and serenity. And isn't that all what we look for, is to feel loved unconditionally by Mother Earth? And we don't always see that because we're all at different stages of our enlightenment. Now, everybody close your eyes and give me one Om. Om. Okay. Sonia with the super chat. Thank you so much. $5 from Sonia. Said live chat tomorrow. Prayers for Boone. Yeah, I think we're going to do a 1 hour live stream before and right after. So for everyone that's watching right now, we'll do 1 hour before and right after. I'm going to have probably a lot of content coming out tomorrow. There's a lot to talk about. I've got a lot going on. I'm preparing for my trip to Vegas. I have to make sure I spend time taking care of some of my other things, some other things that I have going on, but I'll be up first thing in the morning, bright and early. We're going to be getting out of here in the next probably five minutes or so. So this is going to be it for me. I appreciate all of you guys so much. I just can't talk forever. I got to save my voice for tomorrow. 2 more voicemails.
Hey, Dave, this is Ray from Texas,
Ray.
and I just wanted to hop on and say, first of all, love your content.
Thank you.
Second of all, I thought that Teddy and Serene were so good at the AFR, or I guess not AFR, Women Tell All, and I thought they just really showed their true colors as unproblematic, out of the trauma, and invested in the experience and the whole journey, so to speak. I can't wait to see them on the beaches of paradise. Also, this made me really appreciate people that we didn't get to see very much. Kate had some really great points. Dr. Kira was fabulous. But there are a couple people that I don't want to see on the beach, but they're going to get an edit that probably puts them on the beach. But anyway, love your content. Thanks so much for bringing up issues standing with Ukraine and always calling out Colton Underwood every chance you get. Love your content. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Ray of Sunshine calling from Texas. Really appreciate you. Tina, our good friend in Slovakia, says, when is the next Bachelorette usually announced? Should it be next week? I need to try to catch up on the show. Not sure if I have time to do so. It should be very soon. It might be announced as early as Wednesday morning or tomorrow night, in which case we might have some spoilers coming our way. Usually it's leaked by now, but it's any man's game, or any woman's game at this point. Any woman's game. But yeah, good question. All right, 2 more voicemails here. Let's go to Canada.
Hey there, Dave. This is PMD calling from Toronto, Canada. I actually think that Clayton stood up to those girls, but look at Shanae. She kept herself together. She didn't yell or scream.
Wow.
Like, that girl is good. I mean, she's not a good person, but she's very good at what it is that she does. Don't you think so? I mean, did you not notice how she looked good, how she kept quiet when people were talking? I was just like, wow, go girl.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, well, look, a point for Shanae. And now, there were some moments where she kind of yelled back and forth, but not nearly as much as the firing squad. You know, sometimes, like they tell you, the best thing you can do is to try to be as quiet as possible, because when you're actually quiet, people will actually want to listen more. Now, we saw with some of these Super Bowl commercials where they actually played no volume whatsoever, and it drew people's attention to them. Now, I don't know if that's the case with any of these contenders in the audience. Like, you can't just have everyone not yell, because they're not going to get the spotlight. But Shanae knew she was in the hot seat. She was going to let them yell, and that wasn't her game plan. But again, let's not give her too much credit. All right, Bruce is up. Is this Bruce?
Bruce from Oregon. Dave, why has it been days and days since our last Tasha video? What's going on, man?
I'd like to formally apologize to Bachelor Nation, specifically my 52,724 people, and apologize for not giving you a Tasha video within the last 5 days. I'm going to have to look inwards as to why I have kind of taken my foot off the Tasha gas pedal, and I promise to do better. I promise to learn, and I promise to listen. So thank you so much for letting me know that you've noticed that I've been falling short of the Tasha benchmark that I have set for this channel. So thank you so much, Bruce, for that. Is Dave doing? I can do it. If you guys want to do ASMR, can you imagine if I did a whole recap? I just can't. I can't talk at this level. Although I do feel like there's a very small niche community that would find it very sexy if I always talk to this level, but it is just not within my wheelhouse. I'm more of a shouter, not a lover. So I'm going to go back down to here. Okay. Kim says, what time does Reality Steve post? I'm really not sure. I'll be up early. I'll be up around 6 tomorrow to do my recaps and all that jazz. Why is Bruce so obsessed with Tasha? Good question. All right, we're going to get out of here. We are going to call it a day. We're still at 390 folks, but I need to get out of here. It's 8:45 my time. I think we covered a lot. We covered finger traps, formerly called Chinese finger traps. We covered issues like and again, as Kim mentioned earlier, I so many of you guys leave such great and rich voicemails that I don't always properly cover it all because I'm reading your comments. We got through about I don't know for sure how many comments. Let's see if I can find that out. But usually we have probably a couple thousand comments per video. So I think I actually read most of them out loud, which is, making my mind hurt. But let's go to what's live right now. The monetization is still on for this. I can't believe that we're still monetized right now. But if we go to the customization, it won't. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not going to tell me I was trying to see if I could figure out how many. Oh, maybe I can. All right, I'm going to take you guys to the live control room. Are you ready for this? This is the live control. You know what? Actually, I probably shouldn't because then you can see the URL. But I'll tell you what. I'm going to show you guys what we have here. We have 370 viewers. We've received $26 in super chat donations. But I'm going to try not to show you the 6,000 playbacks, viewer activity, stream settings. It doesn't tell me how many comments we've received. I thought that would have been fun to see. It'll tell me later on. I'll check it out later. Not a big deal. All right, let's see. Last voicemail. No, we're done on voicemails. I'm going to close the voicemails for the night. I'm going to get ready to say goodbye. Let's pick out a good song to go out on. We need a good romantic vocal here. And let's do a mood that is sexy. Do you want sexy? One Night, Good Life. How about this one? One Night, Good Life. You know what? No, it's auto-tune. We don't like auto-tune. If You Come With Me Tonight. This could be good for a preview for tomorrow night's Fantasy Suite episode. So that's going to be it for me. I appreciate all you guys in the comment section. Jason says, what percentage male and female is your subscribership? We are 92% female, which is why I, have to bathe every day because you guys can smell me through the screen. Okay, here we go. Silver Shandon said, who is Boone? Boone is my dog. Dave, you is smart, you is kind, you is important. Well, thank you so much. Very soothing when you speak like that. Oh, thank you guys so much. It looks like I'm a few comments behind. Righty here. What's this? All right. Yeah, we'll call it there. You guys have a great night. It looks like y'all extinguished the troll. Very nice. This one's called If You Come With Me Tonight. 8% Bruce. Okay, I don't like that song. It's such a good live stream. Let's maybe not do sexy. Let's do how about quirky? Let's do Baby Got Me Salty. How about that? That sounds good. Baby Got Me Salty. All right, this is Baby Got Me Salty. You guys have a good evening. I appreciate all of you. All right, bye guys. We'll see you in the morning. Patreon live stream tomorrow morning.
You're so cute. You remind me of my ex-husband. Love you. You're so cute. You remind me of my ex-husband.
You cut the crap.